guys, welcome back again to my channel, Dami Dimension. My name is Dami. In today's video we are going to be making another golden rule pattern, and here is the trouser we are going to be making today. In this video I have a video already on how you can grade this pattern to your exact size. I have that video specially dedicated to grading the pattern, how to use it, and so on and so forth. Please go and check out that video in case you haven't seen it. So I have drafted my pattern already, as you can see, and I have the pattern laid down on my fabric. I have my fabric folded into two. This is my front pattern. It's folded into the fabric is folded into two, and I have my pattern placed on top of it, and I am simply going to go ahead and cut this out. Like I said, guys, I have a special dedicated video on how you can grade the pattern. Please watch that. All right, so after I cut out the front, I also laid the pattern on top of my fabric folded into two, and I also cut out the back. And next is the pocket. I folded my fabric into four, and I cut out the pocket just because I want to cut it out all at once. So then I separated two of the pockets, and I brought out two, and I folded this part in, and I placed the pattern. Then I cut it out so I can cut out the facing. All right, so as you can see, this is the front, and I'm just showing you so you see that I cut it out exactly as it is on my pattern. All right, and I have two pieces just because I folded my fabric into two. So I'm just showing you here that this is the entire pattern you need for this trouser. Okay, so this is the back, and similarly I cut out two pieces because I folded my fabric into two. I will have two pieces automatically. All right, so this is the back, and that's the one I have on my table, and this is the pocket. All right, so this is my pocket. Once I was done cutting it out, I have two pieces of the pocket, and it looks like this. Okay, and then I cut out two pieces of this hashed portion as well, which is going to be the facing. All right, so in total I have four pockets, two pockets and two pocket facing. All right, I folded it in this way and used it to cut out the two ones. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to be cutting out is a facing for my trouser, and I just decided to cut out this portion. So I just threw that part out, and I'm hatching this portion, which is the one I'm going to be cutting for the facing. Okay, this is not part of the pattern actually, it's just what I decided to do, how to finish my trouser. So what I'm doing here is I'm folding in the dart just because the facing is not going to be having a dart. So fold it in, then you are going to cut out that hashed portion on your fabric. So once I was done cutting it out, it looks like this, and I have two pieces for the front and also two pieces for the back, and I went and ironed fusible interfacing on the back of the four of them. So I'm just showing you the one for the back as well, two pieces for the back pieces, for the back panel as well. And I also iron my fusible interfacing at the back of that as well. All right, so I am going to set this aside, and we are going to start joining. In order to start joining, I have my front first. I'm placing them right sides facing each other like this, align them nicely, and I'm going to be stitching on this part from here to here, just like that. Okay, once I was done doing that, actually I haven't done that now. I just pinned it down and I'm just showing you. Okay, so then I will go ahead and do that. So once I was done doing that, I have something like this, and you are going to do the same to the back. Put the back as well, right sides facing each other, and stitch on that same spot as well. So I have this as well for the back. All right, so I'm bringing in the front again, and I am going to be showing you what to do next. All right, so this is the front. As you can see, it has this pleated portion, and which I have already notched it on the pattern, on the fabric. So I notched it on my fabric, and I'm just going to go ahead and sew in that pleat, just the way you would sew a regular pleat. Go ahead and sew that. So I grab it this way, and I'm going to be stitching it down. Make sure to try to let them face opposite direction, so they basically mirror each other. Okay, this one faces this side and that one faces that side. And once you're done doing the pleat, the next thing you are going to be doing is the pocket. So you bring in your pocket, okay, which is this hashed portion, okay, the one I cut out when I folded in this part like this. Now, so I'm placing it this way. I'm just showing you with the pattern so you see exactly the placement, because my fabric is a bit busy, so you know what I'm doing. So I place it this way on my fabric and I'm going to be stitching it down this way. All right, and once you're done doing that, do the same to the second side as well. Okay, so once I was done doing that, this is what I have on both sides. And the next thing I'm going to be doing is to give it a little snip. Just give those notches so it lays down super flat. Actually, it's not so necessary because it's not curvy, but I just like to be extra. So once I was done doing that, I'm going to be placing a top stitch. So I'll pack all my seams onto the pocket and I will stitch it down like that. And what this does is it's going to help it relax really well when you turn it. So you do the same to the second pocket as well, of course. So once I was done doing that, this is what I have, and it looks like this on the opposite side. And I gave it a good press. You can see it creases really nice and sharp, beautiful. Okay, so now flipping it to the wrong side, then I can put my pocket facing. So I'm placing the pocket facing onto the pocket like this, and I'm going to pin both of them together. I will be stitching only the two of them together, okay? Only the two pockets together at this point. We are not stitching on the trouser itself yet. Okay, so you're going to be placing it this way on your sewing machine. Actually place it this way and stitch it the two pockets together. All right, and then you place it this way and attach it down on your waistline, and we repeat the same to the second pocket. Okay, once that is done, this is what I have. The pocket is done and pretty. Now I'm placing the back on top of it, right side facing each other, and I will match it up, align it super nicely, and I'm going to be stitching on the sides, the out seam all the way down. I will stitch on the inseam all the way down this way, and the second out seam as well. I will stitch it from here all the way, then I will stop somewhere here so that I have an opening where I'm going to be inserting my zipper. And this is the zipper I'm going to be using. Okay, so I'm stitching from the hemline and up here, stopping a little bit into my zipper. So now I have done that, and I am going to be attaching my zipper now. So I'm going to be pinning down my zipper this way. I do have a video on how to insert an invisible zipper, which is what I'm using now. I have that video in my channel. Please check it out if you have any challenges inserting a zipper. Okay, so I'll stitch it down that way, and once I was done stitching it down, this is what I have. Zipper is done, and the next thing is to work on the waistline, and I'm going to be finishing the waistline using the facing that I have created. So here are my facings. Like I said earlier, this facing is not part of the pattern book. It's just how I personally wish to finish my waistline, and that's why I made the facing. So I have my back, two backs, and the two fronts. I'll place the two front right sides facing each other, and I'll stitch along the center front, and the two backs as well, right sides facing each other, and I will stitch along the center back. All right, so once that is done and I open it up, I will have something that looks like this, and then I will bring the front and I'll combine it to the back along the side seam, one of the side seams, okay, like this, and I'll stitch it down by 1/2 inch, and by the time I open it up, I will have one whole piece that looks like this. Okay, so once I was done doing that, it looks like this, and on the wrong side it looks like this as well. So I'll bring back my trouser, and I am going to be combining both of them together. Okay, so what you want to do now is to make sure you match up all the seams, the side seam, center seam, and all of that. And I'm placing the right side of my trouser to the right side of the facing. And you want to make sure that you identify which one goes directly on your waistline and which one, because as you can see, it has a kind of a slant shape, and here is smaller in size than here. So the part that is smaller is my waist, is for the waist. So I will match up that smaller part directly onto my waistline, and the other one goes down inside. So like I said, making sure I match up my seams, side seams, center seams, and all of that. Then I'm just going to go ahead and pin it all around my waistline. Once I was done pinning, it looks like this, and I will take it to my sewing machine and I will stitch it down all the way around by 1/2 inch. And then on this part, okay, where we have the zipper, you will try to feel your zipper with your finger, okay? So you are going to be placing the stitch super close to the zipper teeth, and this way it's going to come out nice and nicely finished by the time you flip it to the right side. So I will do that, and I'm also going to repeat that on the other end as well. And once that is done and you flip it to the right side, you're pretty much done with the trouser. All you just have to do is to hem the down part. So as you can see, I have done that, and I went ahead and overlock all my raw edges. If you don't have an overlocker, so I'm just showing you here that I packed the seams to the band area and I top stitched it just to make sure that it comes out nicely relaxed by the time I flip it to the wrong side in this case. Okay, so it looks like this. Okay, like I was saying earlier, I do have a video on how to overlock raw edges using the regular domestic machine. Okay, so check that out. So this is the finished result of the waistline. If you want, you can go ahead and place extra top stitch onto the band, onto the facing. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold it once at the hemline now and hem it all the way around, because I have it overlocked already. If you don't have an overlocker or you don't want to overlock, just fold it twice so you finish your hemline, and that's the end. And right here is the finished result, guys. I hope you like this. Leave me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel in case you haven't done so. Let me know your thought down below in the comments, and I hope to see you again in my next one. Bye. Empty hearts and neon lights, they're playing with my mind. Gotta get out